Rich Paul delivered a fresh update on LeBron James's free agency during a SportsCenter interview on Saturday, July 11, and it reframed how fans should think about the four-time MVP's next move. When asked directly about James' priorities, Paul told the network, "He's not chasing a ring." That single line shifted the entire conversation around a decision that has already stretched across the summer without resolution. Paul followed the comment with another direct statement about how James will approach his choice. "He's going to make the best decision for himself," Paul said. The phrasing left open which factors matter most to James at this stage of his career. Without ruling out contenders or naming any specific team, this update did not arrive in isolation. Just one day earlier, on July 10, Paul had given an even more uncertain answer when asked about a timeline for James's decision. Speaking on the Game Over podcast, Paul said, "There is none. I wish I knew." He added that James has been taking his time and evaluating his options while spending the offseason mostly in his hometown of Akron, Ohio, playing golf and staying away from the noise of speculation. Earlier in the month, Paul had also spoken to Forbes, and his message there was consistent with the lack of urgency. "I don't think this happens anytime soon," Paul told Forbes' Mark Medina in a story published on July 4. When pressed on whether teams should expect a decision within days, Paul offered no reassurance, saying, "I don't think it'll be the next few days." Paul framed the slow pace as intentional, describing this as the first time he's making a decision that is truly for him. A contrast to the widely covered choices James made in 2010 and 2014. While James deliberates, teams have adjusted their recruiting tactics. According to ESPN's Shams Charania, several of the leading suitors have turned to indirect communication rather than traditional meetings. Some of them have been able to send a voice note to LeBron James via Rich Paul, Charania said. He noted uncertainty about whether Cleveland or Miami were part of that group, adding that those two organizations kind of don't need to. They already had him in their buildings. This detail points to James's history with both franchises, since he has previously played for the Cavaliers across 2 stints and has long been connected to the Heat in trade and free agency rumors. Charania also identified where the real competition stands. When the Sixers got Jaylen Brown, I did some research and is taking their pitch very seriously, Charania said. He then outlined the current order of interest. "When I talk to teams now, I have a hierarchy of Cleveland, Miami, Philadelphia, and then some teams on the periphery. Those periphery teams have been reported elsewhere as the Golden State Warriors, the Minnesota Timberwolves, and the Denver Nuggets, though none of them have been described as frontrunners. The Brooklyn Nets have also been mentioned in passing coverage of James's free agency, though nothing in the reporting suggests the franchise is a realistic destination. Speculation connecting James to Brooklyn has largely been dismissed given his established ties to Cleveland, Miami, and now Philadelphia. James's production last season supports why teams continue to pursue him despite his age. During the 2025-26 regular season, he averaged 20.9 points, 6.1 rebounds, and 7.2 assists across 60 appearances, shooting 51.5% from the field. In the second round of the playoffs against the Oklahoma City Thunder, James averaged 23.3 points and 1.3 steals per game, numbers that stood out against a Thunder defense that limited most opposing players significantly. Not everyone accepts the version of events Paul has presented. Analyst Rick Bucher argued that the level of team interest described by Paul has been overstated. Bucher said that if every team were genuinely competing for James, they would have prioritized clearing salary cap space before making other roster moves this offseason, rather than pursuing separate transactions first. This argument suggests that some of the recruiting narrative may be shaped more by Paul's positioning than by unanimous demand across the league. The uncertainty has practical consequences beyond James himself. Multiple reports indicate that several teams are holding off on other offseason business decisions, specifically because they are waiting to learn where James will sign. This has added pressure to a free agency period that, for James, has already outlasted the pace of his previous decisions in 2010 and 2014, when both moves were resolved with significantly more speed and far less ambiguity about his priorities.